It's time for our Ask the Attorney segment with our favorite attorney, personal injury attorney Stewart Vance from the Vance Law Firm. Before we get to your legal questions, we always remind people you are a personal injury attorney. So what does that mean?
That means our firm handles cases where people have been injured by no fault of their own. Someone else caused the situation that got them hurt.
So I have a fun question for you. We're all festive. We're ready for Christmas. There's that fun song everyone listens to, Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. So let's say, God forbid, we hope Grandma's okay for Christmas. Let's say Grandma did get run over by a reindeer. Is that a personal injury claim? How does that work?
That's a great question. It could be, and it always goes back to what I say with all the callers all the time. It depends. It depends on the situation. Was the reindeer on its own, just one reindeer came along and said it was a reindeer? Because if not, I mean, if that's the situation, it's just like we see lots of deer on the highway. We talk about that often. Probably not a claim.
If it's Santa's?
Yeah, if it was in what we all see, the harnesses with the other reindeer, and at the back end is a sleigh with the jolly guy in red, hits Grandma, yeah, that could likely be a claim. Let's be real clear up front, we're not suing Santa Claus.
Mr. Stewart is not going to sue Santa, I promise, kids. Santa is always on the nice list,
exactly
so we're not
right.
going to sue Santa.
But yes, I'm chuckling because at the office we had this conversation in one of our posts on our social media, and we went deep into the things of, okay, well, who was driving the sleigh? Was it actually Santa? Was it an elf? Was it somebody? You know, there's so many different questions, but it's a great, it goes right to what we deal with every day. Things could be, but you don't know until you ask the question. So it goes to all our basic answer to everything is please call and ask, because if you aren't sure, you know, we're going to need more information to be sure we give you the best and the most accurate advice. So, yeah, we hope grandmother recovers in that situation and she's okay and everybody gets taken care of. But it could be, depends on what the situations are. So, great question. I love we get it all the time.
On a more serious note, here in the news world, we've reported on several accidents with school buses. How does that work if you're involved in a crash with a school bus, whether it's a large company truck? Does it change if it's an actual company comparison to we run into each other on the highway?
Yeah, it's different because you're dealing with usually different policies of insurance that require different information. You talked about school buses. You know, we've seen school bus cases where, you know, more information is always better.
Yes.
That, okay, it wasn't documented properly. The driver of the bus didn't give the proper information to the school system, and different counties, different cities, different municipalities set up their school bus differently. And depending on how that's done can affect the way an insurance claim can work. So yeah, as I say often, always get more information, take pictures. So if you're called to the scene with your student, or if your student tells you about, hey, we had a wreck on the bus today, oh my gosh, and that sounds unbelievable, that could never happen. We've seen that. The child gets home, tells the parent doesn't know what they're talking about. They call the school doesn't know what they're talking about.
Because sometimes it could be just a fender bender.
Yeah.
Someone may have ran and bumped into the back of the bus.
Yeah.
I passed that on my way home before.
And it could be that the driver had reported it to a different supervisor and hadn't gotten back to the school
reached the principal.
That's right. And so there are many reasons how things can happen, but always ask questions, document it, call the right party, the right people to let them know that. And then, you know, you mentioned school buses and company vehicles. Those can be different. You know, there's large 18-wheelers as it comes to mind. You know, those get handled differently because the company that owns those tractor trailers want to get them back into circulation for the company. And so if we don't send the right letters and have them, it's called a spoliation letter. Please hold that vehicle, that truck, until it can be inspected. If we don't get that out, if somebody comes to see us and it's been 2 months since the accident with an 18-wheeler, that truck may be in the West Coast, could be gone, could be up in Canada somewhere.
And back on the road again.
That's exactly right. So the sooner you know something, the sooner you tell somebody something, let us know, the much better off your claim's going to be for sure.
We have a caller on the line, Lorenzo from Montgomery. Lorenzo, what's your question?
Oh, yes, sir. I was calling in regards to an accident that happened with my son. It was on the 2nd of August. He was out in front of the house working on the car, and a lady come down the street and piled straight into the side of the car. And the car come over on top of him, and he was killed. The lady don't have any insurance, didn't have driver's license. What am I recourse? What am I to do?
Well, first of all, Lorenzo, yes, I'm so sorry that you and your family are going through that. That's terrible. But that is a reality in our state, that people don't have the proper insurance. There's really sometimes nothing you can do in recourse to them. But Lorenzo, you can look to the vehicle that he was working on, the vehicle in the household. If he lives there and he had insurance on his vehicle, even though he wasn't in his vehicle, there could be some insurance available there. There could be some homeowners available there because he's at his home. There are different places we can look to try to find sources of insurance to take up for the blank space caused by the lady who didn't have insurance like she should have had. It's a terrible situation no matter what. We're never going to be able to change that, but certainly we could look at some other places and try to locate some things that will help you guys offset some things that you're going through financially. So we'll reach back out to you all, but please know going into this holiday season, our hearts are there for you and your family.
Oh, that's awful.
It is.
I know in a lot of cases too, you all kind of walk alongside when there's a criminal element to a case as well as a personal injury element. How does that work on your end?
Yeah, they're separate, criminal and civil, because we talk about car wrecks and truck wrecks and that kind of stuff. When they go to court, there's two separate types of cases in the court. It's civil case or a criminal case.
So sometimes these families could be dealing with two different...
That's exactly right. Let's say that lady, the state determines what criminal cases get brought. So let's say the lady that ended up killing...
Was charged criminally.
That's right. She could be charged with vehicular homicide. Well, that's going to be up to the state. The district attorney in that county is going to make that decision on do they move forward with those criminal charges. Completely separate and really, although it's the same act, nothing to do with the civil part of any insurance claim or car wreck claim. And that goes through, I can think of tons that we've had that can happen. It can be, wait, there's a criminal matter going on. Okay, well, that can keep going. But the civil part we can take care of and deal with it because the two don't have anything to do with each other. Ultimately, if someone's convicted, it could help prove that they were the cause of the civil case.
It could support the other case.
It could, and this is going to go way back. The OJ, I'm showing my age now, but the OJ Simpson case, that there was a criminal that he tried and he was acquitted in the criminal matter, but then there was some civil litigation
that he was
by
found
the family that he was found guilty of and had to pay some money to the family. So, two different things they could have, like in that situation, a different outcome, but always worth asking. And again, please call us and let us give you some specific or get more details and help you sort things out.
That's why it's so important to call. Call that number right there on your screen. We're going to get to more of your questions after this break.